Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another video. Today I'll be taking you along my journey of exhibiting at the Light Upon Light event this year. To prepare for the event, I started by heading to Hobbycraft to pick up a few materials I needed, along with packaging for my new collection that I created especially for the Light Upon Light event. After that, I went to the range to pick up a few things I couldn't find at Hobbycraft, including some black Posca pens and an easel. Here's a little haul of everything I picked up. Now it's time to start painting. This was the biggest piece in my collection, featuring Surah Ad-Duha. Once the painting was complete, I started packaging my stencils. I wanted to make sure everything was wrapped neatly and ready for customers. A few days later, I was back at Hobbycraft to pick up some more supplies. I needed another roll of cellophane because I'd used so much wrapping orders and artwork for the event. I also picked up some more paint after running out. Now it's time to start packing everything for the event. As you can see, everything was organised into boxes. It was definitely a hectic process. Alhamdulillah, everything fit into the car, and I could still see through my mirrors, which made the drive a lot less stressful. Since it was such a hot day in London, I covered all of the artwork and products to protect them from the sun during the journey. I then packed the final few bits, including my tablecloth and my branded table cover. Once I arrived at XL London, I decided to do a trial setup the day before the event. I'm really glad I did because it gave me a chance to see how everything looked and realise I still needed to buy a few more things. Once I was happy with everything, I packed it all away and covered it overnight to keep it protected. I then prayed Asr at XL before heading back to Hobbycraft, where I picked up some storage boxes and had some fabric cut to line the inside of them. I can't lie. Watching the fabric being cut was surprisingly satisfying. I also picked up a few more paints before heading home to get ready for the big day. Finally, it's the day of the event. Before heading out, I made one last stop at the range to pick up 2 more easels. After getting ready, we made our way to the station. Since there was a triathlon taking place that day, many of the roads were closed, which is why we had to take everything to the venue the day before. We caught the train from Palmer's Green, carrying a few boxes along with a large painting. Once we arrived at XL London, we made our way downstairs to the exhibition hall, where I began setting up my stall. The setup was very similar to the one I'd planned the day before, although I made a few small changes. Overall, alhamdulillah, I was really happy with how everything came together. Let me know what you think of the setup in the comments below. One of the highlights of the day was meeting Mufti Menk again. It was such a privilege to show him my artwork and have a lovely conversation with him about my work and Islam. Alhamdulillah, I'm truly grateful for that opportunity. Once the doors opened, the event was in full swing. I had the pleasure of meeting so many amazing people throughout the day. At one point, I managed to quickly grab a subway because by then I was absolutely starving. As Maghrib approached, we gathered for Salah, led by Mufti Menk. Here is a short recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha and Surah An-Nas. After Maghrib, I sold a few more paintings and products and continued meeting even more wonderful people. I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who stopped by my stall, purchased artwork or products, and took the time to have meaningful conversations. It was such a beautiful reminder of how connected our ummah is. Before I knew it, the event had come to an end. We packed everything back into the car, and although it had been a long and exhausting day, I was grateful for every single moment. Jazakum Allahu khairan for watching. Assalamu alaikum, and I'll see you in the next one.